All right, in this video, we'll talk through opening up a CRWrite file for the first time. And we won't need to look at the coast runner itself in this video, so I'm only recording the screen. So when you have the CRWrite software opened and you've got the mill status connected, you can go into the Open section under Guided Mode, and you can click this. And mine is asking me if I want to create a new file. Yours won't ask you that. It will simply give you the option to select from various files. So I'm going to go into where I have my CRProj file stored, which in this case is the universal clamp file. And I'm going to double click that. And it may take a second or two for it to fully load in and open, but eventually you'll get a window come up asking you to choose between various jobs. And there it is. So this is our job selection screen. A CRProj can have multiple jobs defined in it, and you can see them by scrolling down here. Each of the jobs has a title, and you'll also see it has a different description. The idea behind the different jobs, usually there's going to be one main job in your CRProj file, and it's going to be the first one listed most of the time. But then there are different sub-jobs. Sometimes these are different ways of going about performing the cut. Other times, you may have a job with maybe 5 different steps, which is the case for this universal clamp job. And maybe you have a need or a desire to start on step 2 or on step 3. It's probably worth mentioning that early versions of the CRWrite software have suffered from a bug where it will seemingly fail in the middle of a milling operation. And so having these additional sub-jobs will be useful to help you pick up from where you left off. Hopefully that won't happen to you, but if it does, this will be how you'll do it. If it fails in the middle of, say, step 3, you'll be able to jump right back to step 3 and pick up where you left off. Anyways, for most people, when you're starting off, you'll just want to select the main job up at the top and go into that. We'll go into that in just a second, but before we do, I also want to note that some CRProj files have what are called extra files, which are files that are bundled alongside the job. So if I open up, or if I click the extra files button, you'll see I get to extract those files to a certain location. In this case, save successful, it put them there. If we go to where I just put them, you'll see that we put 3 different 3MF files, or three 3MFs and 1 STL. These are 3D models that go with this particular universal clamp job. Printable models for, in this case, the hardware for mounting the clamps, as well as the squaring stop. So that may be useful for you. In any case, that's where to get those 3D files if you decide that you would like to have a look at them. Anyways, now that we've gone over that, we're going to select our universal clamp full operation job, the very first one in the list. We're going to click select, and it'll load it up. I'll note something before ending the video, which is that you may get a pop-up talking about resetting WCS. WCS is like the memory of the mill. So when it is doing operations, it will often store certain 0 points, and WCS is the memory in which those points are stored. Normally, when you're starting a new operation fresh for the first time, it's a good idea to reset it. And so I'm going to click yes. However, if you get this pop-up while you're still doing a milling operation, like maybe you've just completed step 2 and you're about to go on to step 3, if you get a pop-up about resetting, you generally don't want to do a reset in the middle of a job, because then you'll lose your saved points. We've tried to configure the file so that you won't get that pop-up, except for the first time you run the software, but there are certain routes that will allow that to happen. So be careful with that. Anyways, now we're on our job file, ready to start running the job. You'll find that it should be very self-explanatory how to walk through each step of the job. So I'm not going to cover that in the video, and I'll leave things here.